Good morning.
Good morning, Maria. Good morning. Good morning. Lovely that you have time and that we could find a little moment here to meet and talk a little bit about what is going on.
To reflect on the last days.
Yeah, exactly. To reflect and to share, and maybe somebody out there can resonate a little bit to what we have to share and what we can talk a little bit about. Okay, so basically we wanted to meet to talk a little bit about primarily the full moon right now and how it affects us and why that is so, you could say. And before we go into the direct thing about the full moon, I want to share a little thing that I have also been posting just a little bit about the last couple of weeks. But it's like people have been talking for years, you know, about humanity stepping into a new era of time. That's nothing new. But what is probably a little bit new to a lot of people is that that shift actually physically took place at November this last year. And we literally, by New Year here, went into a new time, a new order, so to speak. So what you could say, we used to, when we talk about manifestation and we talk about what we want to attract into our lives and, you know, everything, and everybody's trying to create a beautiful life for themselves and stuff like that. Then you can say that the biggest shift that I feel and sense and what I'm told and shown is that we used to be able to manifest more with our thoughts. You know what I mean? We have been doing decades, and we have talked a lot about that in coaching and in all different kind of spiritual directions. It has been a lot about that we could, you know, visualize or, you know, create a thought and by then you could attract something into your life. But what is really new and what is going to be the new thing and what is actually here right now and is going to be the time further, whatever it is that we actually are going to manifest from our deepest core within. So it becomes more important than ever before, to be in alignment with whatever is in the deepest place of us. So now it is not really possible for us anymore, you know, to be maybe a mess inside, have some old grief, and everybody has that. So we cannot just, you know, postpone it or ignore it and just sit there and use our thoughts and our will anymore to manifest the same way that we were used to.
Yeah.
So now we really need to be in alignment. We need to be aware of what is really going on inside of us. Because even if we are conscious about it or not, that is from where we will manifest our life out in the physical realm.
Yeah.
So, and of course that gives us, all of us, the need to really go in and spend time with connecting to our true self or our inner self. And it also, even though we have been cleaning up, I think you can nod to that, a lot of self-cleaning up has been going on for at least a decade for a lot of people. People have been dealing with own wounds and traumas and crises and stuff like that. And that also becomes very important now, but it becomes maybe even more important now than ever, that not just the awareness of whatever has been going on, but the energy around what has been going on, if you know what I mean, the energetic imprint. And that can also occur to former life incarnation. So we really need to be in alignment and be aware of what is going on, because that is from the space we will now and in the future manifest from.
Yeah.
So, well, how does it resonate with you?
How does it work for people that are not aligned?
Yeah, And that is, of course, what brings me to this. And also, of course, life is not like that you get punished, you know. It's like, okay, no, so you're not a lion, so we will just punish you. That's not how it works. But of course, it will become more and more clear to a lot of people that even though they have the best intentions, you know, and maybe they have these beautiful thoughts and they do everything right, you know, sit and meditate and connect and everything, if they are not completely in contact, or if something, it has to be quite significant, of course, energetically speaking. If something significant, energetically speaking, is messing around inside of you, then it will still affect your ability to attract and manifest the things you really want to have out of life. Mm-hmm. So we are basically, all of us, forced, in a loving way, of course, but we are forced to actually look within, and we need to take care of it. We need to take action on it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times, you know, it can sound very hard and, oh my God, do I have to go through that again? No. A lot of the time, it's enough just to acknowledge it, to really just sit and be with something, you know, that has energetic influence or power over you, or has made an imprint in you. Sometimes it's just enough to just, and of course you can also go to people like you and I, and other people out there who works with cleaning up the energetic field, both inside of us, but also the field around us that's actually connected to our inner core.
Yeah.
So it is, I think it might sound a little bit harsh what I'm saying now, but I think we used to be able to excuse us a little bit out of it, if you know what I mean. Okay, I am working with myself and I'm aware and stuff like that. That maybe that used to be enough. But unfortunately, that's the backside of this new time, but it's also the beauty of it, as I see it.
Yeah.
We are not really allowed to do that anymore. It will not work for much longer for people.
And how do you see this change in your life since November? You notice how it has changed the way you work with your own themes, or the way you work with your clients?
Yeah, definitely. I think I will start by telling a little bit about the clients and the people that I'm in contact with, and then I will share something personal. And I think it would be lovely if you would too. But how I see it is that I actually have experienced a little bit of, I wouldn't say, maybe desperation is the right word, from people who have actually been working a lot with themselves, who thought that they somehow were clean or had left something behind them. And now was the time to really manifest, you know, start attracting and living and fulfilling that life that they have longed for. And they have really worked hard to get there. And I can definitely recognize that in myself as well.
Me too.
Yeah. And I think that is what people are really, I even experienced a lot of people get a little bit depressed around here. Of course, we also have the dark time on our part of Earth right now, you know, not so much sunlight and everything. That doesn't really help either. But I feel a lot of people get a little bit, I wouldn't say they give up, but they get the feeling momentarily of giving up a little bit, because it can feel a little bit overwhelming, and it can feel a little bit like, oh, I've put in all this time and effort, but it's not paying out, you know? It's like I'm pulled back in something, but I think that is not the right way to look upon it. It's the wrong approach, even though we can easily be caught into these feelings and emotions. Mm-hmm. And I think this new moon is actually a very, very good example of it, because I think we should start and look, if we haven't already, look upon the basic elements like Mother Earth and Father Sun and Grandmother Moon and stuff like that, like our allies, you know. Grandmother Moon is really a beautiful helper right now, because what she's capable of and what she's doing in these days is actually that she goes in and she puts light on whatever it is that is within us, that is not completely functioning right now, or that has been neglected, or, you know, stuff like that. And it can also resonate with things from former incarnations, lifetimes.
Yeah.
So what I have had a lot of responses the last couple of days is a lot of people have been writing to me and sharing with me that they really experience a lot of heavy emotions, physical pain in joints and muscles and headaches, and just the feeling of, yeah, oh my God, I can't stand this anymore. And of course, that is not very nice. And I feel for them, and I have had my share of experience as well. But I think it has to do with how I see it and feel it and understand it, is that it's really a beautiful opportunity just to be with it, allow it to be there, even though it's dreadful and painful and not in a perfect time or anything, you know, it's a disturbance. I think it's so important just to be with it, because what we will experience within a few couple of days is that it will be released. And that is the power, you know, all about that around the full moon. That is really Grandmother Moon's power. She helps us so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you have had the same kind of experience the last couple of days. Have you?
Yeah, the same. Yeah, everything you said resonated. Like the feeling wanting to give up, the feeling like, oh, I've worked for so many years and still I'm here stuck in this emotions, the physical pain as well. And at the same time, there was this glimpse of light already. There was this little voice telling me where my path is leading to, and the little feeling of excitement, what I really wanted to do, what I really want to do in life. And so actually that helps me a lot. What you tell is that is going to unfold further in the days to come. Yeah.
And it
Beautiful.
will. And it's so important to always remember around full moon, because people sometimes forget that. We usually say that 2 to 4 days in advance of the full moon and after the full moon, depending on how sensitive you are to energies and how much you know, are capable of being affected or sense things like that. You can actually be quite affected. So it is around, if it's the maximum, it's around 8 days, basically. And for some people, it's only 2 days and stuff like that. So it differs from who you are. And also from time to time, because each full moon comes with a different kind of energy, a different kind of purpose for us. Yeah. So it also.
I agree. It's good that you sit with yourself. You be gentle with yourself. You create some time. Even if you have kids running around, as many of you might also have, create some time to relax, go outside together. It's also a way of relaxation.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that you can do that can bring a little bit release, or maybe get your mind a little bit, even though the emotions or the thoughts are still there. If you can have a pause from it, that would be good. And try not to dig too deep into it, get too involved in it. Because when we start identifying with what is going on, you know, with the emotion arises or the problem occur, and we think, oh my God, I'm here. I still have that problem. I'm not good enough, or, oh, I can't figure this out or that out. You know, when we start identifying with these things, that is when we really suffer. And that is also not the purpose of it, because you have been moving further away from it. It's just the energetic imprints and the leftovers that needs to be released. Like emotion, it's basically energy, right? And thoughts as well.
And in this releasing, it's very important to ground yourself, to that things can release into Mother Earth. So take care of your grounding. If you have your own way, wonderful. And if you want to learn something about that, or find new ways that could be effective for you, you can join us as well, one of our courses.
Yeah, that would be lovely. We would love to see you. And just at the end here, I promised to also say a little bit, because as I mentioned, it was pain and headache that a lot of people wrote to me about, and also these devastating emotion, feeling of being overwhelmed and being set back. I really suffered from a lot of, that is one of my own thing, is low self-esteem. You know, the mistrust in myself and also in my ability. And I know that was also one of the reasons why I didn't do the card reading that I usually do around the full moon a lot of the time, because I could really feel that around that time when I usually do it, you know, like a day or two before the full moon, I usually pull the cards and do the thing. And I knew from inside of me, and of course from experience, that if I was doing the reading there, then it would not be, you know, an honest reading, because I myself, my human part, was affected by this low self-esteem. And I was really doubting, like you expressed, Marika, and we had a beautiful talk about it the other day. It was everything, you know, the spirituality, my path, motherhood, who am I, why am I doing it, you know, everything. And it's so interesting that, and it's of course also frustrating, that even though you have been working with these things for lots of years, you still can get, and especially if we start identifying. And from my own point of view, I'm still guilty of doing that. Maybe not so long as I used to, you know, I discover it and I'm capable of pulling myself out of it again. But I still swim in that pool occasionally. So that's just part of being human, I guess.
But I like that. It's so honest of you that you then say, okay, it feels not honest to do it this time. I am not aligned, so the information that comes through might not be authentic. So I don't do it this time. It's wonderful that you know yourself so well, when to share and when not to. That's a whole.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. But yeah, we would love for you to put a remark if you have something you want to share under the video, or reach out to us. Whenever. And if you have anything you want to share a question about. And as Marika said, we are going to have a new online course coming up here. Is it the 24th
of January, on a Tuesday evening, and a weekly course, and six evenings. We also have a Friday morning course, don't we?
Yep.
It starts a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's to learn you about shamanic basics that can be so helpful, supporting, and effective in our daily life. It's something close to us, something we can do ourselves, where we can take responsibility and where we have a direct effect on its on how we can work together with spirit worlds. Also, well, it has benefited us a lot. That's why we like to share it with you.
Definitely. And it's definitely one of the ways to create the portal to connect to your inner self, to your core. So,
So if you like to join, you can visit our website, twoshamans.net, and hope to see you someday.
That would be lovely. Take care of yourself, and remember, if you're suffering right now, you feel pain, emotional disturbance, hang in there. It will probably release itself within a couple of days.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.